So you're thinking about retiring in Thailand. Maybe you're looking to stretch your retirement savings further. Maybe you're drawn to the warmer weather, better bang for your buck, the world-class nature, or maybe you just want a complete change of pace for this next chapter of your life. Whatever the reason, if you're considering Thailand as a retirement destination, you're going to want to understand the options you have to stay here on a long-term basis. And as you've probably already discovered, there are quite a few different visa pathways available, each with their own unique set of requirements, benefits, and drawbacks. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through all of the major long-term visa options that retirees commonly use here in Thailand. First, I'll cover the 4 most popular visas that actually have a minimum age requirement of being 50 years or older. Then I'll dive into 4 additional options that don't have any sort of age requirements, but are still commonly used here by retirees. For each visa, I'll break down the specific requirements and some key blind spots to help you better understand everything at a bit of a nuanced level. Now, one of my best buddies, Watt, helped me script out this entire video to really make sure that everything is as accurate as possible. He helps people get all sorts of different Thai visas day in and day out, and is a really solid source for this. So with that said, I'll chapter out each of the options so you can easily navigate through everything. And with that said, let's get into it. So let's start off with the 4 main options that specifically require you to be at least 50 years old and beyond. These are designed with retirees at the forefront, and they're the Non-Immigrant O visa, the Non-Immigrant OA visa, the Non-Immigrant OX visa, and then the LTR Wealthy Pensioner visa. Each of these has different requirements and offers a different set of benefits. So let's break them down one by one here. So the first and probably most common Thailand retirement visa is the Non-Immigrant O visa for the purpose of retirement. Now, there's a few different reasons somebody could be issued a Non-Immigrant O visa. For example, it could also be issued as a marriage visa if you're married to a Thai national. So that's why it's important to make the distinction here of it being for the purpose of retirement. So the initial application process generally comes in 2 stages. There's the first 90-day non-O visa that you can get through the Thai embassy in whatever country you live in, or get here in Thailand once your boot's on the ground. From there, once you get the first 90-day component taken care of, you'll then extend this visa for 12 months and then re-up it for a year at a time as part of your long-term retirement here in Thailand. It effectively becomes a 1-year retirement visa that you can apply to renew on an annual basis. It's a pretty common option that thousands and thousands of expat retirees from all over the world use to stay here in Thailand. To qualify for it, you'll need to be at least 50 years old, as we've discussed. You'll need to have 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account, or have a fixed monthly passive income from a government pension program of at least 65,000 baht per month, or a combination of these 2 financial proofs where your Thai bank deposit plus your fixed monthly income multiplied by 12 months, so a year, equals at least 800,000 Thai baht in total. You'll also need to show proof of residence in Thailand, such as a rental contract and or a copy of the house registration book where you're staying. Now, a common question that people ask is, well, how can I transfer 800,000 baht into my Thai bank account to qualify for the visa if I can't even get a bank account without a long-term visa? Isn't it chicken and egg? And the answer is kind of, but that's where the first 90-day non-O visa that can be issued from your local Thai embassy comes in. To get this initial 90-day visa, which does allow you to then go and open up a bank account here in Thailand, doesn't require that you show 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account. So you can get this 90-day visa by showing the equivalent of 800,000 baht in your local bank account in your country. So that's like 24,000 US dollars. And then from there, that allows you again to get your initial 90-day non-O visa, your initial 90-day period of stay, come to Thailand, get stamped into the country with a non-immigrant visa stamp for 90 days, and then go ahead and open up a Thai bank account to fulfill the requirements for the 1-year extension. A lot of Thai banks, especially these days, require that you have a non-immigrant stamp in place to open up a Thai bank account. Like you can't even get a bank account officially even on a DTV because it's not a non-immigrant visa, right? So that's why it really isn't chicken and egg once you factor in how the embassy system overseas kind of corresponds and interacts with the immigration system here in Thailand. It no longer becomes chicken and egg. Now, one important thing to note here is that there are some key financial minimums you'll need to maintain in your bank account throughout the course of your visa validity period. So just be aware of that. Overall, though, I think the non-O retirement visa makes the most sense for retirees who want a pretty straightforward, affordable option that feels bulletproof as part of one's life here. I gotta say, like, it's hard to knock this as an option, particularly for those of you over 50, that's for sure. So the next option we'll discuss is the Non-Immigrant OA visa, which is very similar to the non-O in many ways, but does come with some key differences, particularly around health insurance and where you can apply from. So first off, to qualify for this OA visa, you'll need to be at least 50 years old. You'll need to have the equivalent of 800,000 baht in your bank account. It doesn't need to be a bank account in Thailand. Or if you don't want to show that full 800,000 baht or the equivalent of 800,000 baht, you can show fixed monthly passive income of at least 65,000 baht from a government pension program. On top of that, you'll also need to show health insurance with coverage of at least 3 million Thai baht or 100,000 US dollars. And as part of that, there's a list of insurance companies you can choose from that are based here in Thailand. They have plans designed specifically for the OA visa. But if you choose to go with an insurance company of your own choosing that's not on this list, you'll need to get them to sign this form in order to use that insurance as part of your OA visa application. On top of that, you'll need to show proof of a clean criminal record from your country of residence, and you're also going to need to provide a medical certificate showing that you don't have these diseases. Like the first non-O option we discussed, this visa is valid for 1 year, for 12 months, and it can be renewed annually as long as you continue to meet each of the requirements. The main advantage of the OA is that you can apply for it at Thai embassies or Thai consulates overseas, meaning you can arrive in Thailand with the full 1-year retirement visa already in hand, which streamlines the initial process for you as part of moving over here, because you don't need to get the first 90-day visa and then extend it for an additional 12 months, which is kind of nice. You just come here with your first year fully sorted out. The big issue, though, for a lot of retirees is that health insurance requirement. You know, it doesn't affect people like me so much because I'm pretty young still, but as you get older, finding reasonably priced insurance becomes a far more difficult undertaking, and the pre-existing condition clauses really start to limit options, which is why a lot of retirees end up switching to the standard O retirement visa that we previously discussed, because that option doesn't come with any sort of mandatory insurance requirements, right? You know, the non-OA is probably best for somebody who's in their earlier retirement years and good health and wants to arrive in Thailand with everything sorted out, at least for their first year. You know, I know a couple that just moved here from Australia. They're 55. They're both pretty healthy. They found affordable insurance with relative ease because they didn't have any sort of pre-existing conditions, at least not yet. They're still only 55. And they opted for this route because they wanted to leave Australia and just arrive in Thailand with their first year of status already taken care of, rather than dealing with extensions right away or within the first 3 months of arriving, right? They just like the certainty of having everything approved, signed, sealed, and delivered before they even stepped on the plane. And like I said, the insurance component of this wasn't a big deal at this point in their lives for them. Now, the third option we're going to discuss here is called the Non-Immigrant OX visa, which is basically an upgraded version of the O visa or even the OA visa, which we've previously discussed. And it's designed for retirees who, in theory, want a longer term solution. It's designed for retirees that want a 5-year solution, but that's in theory. And we're going to talk about why that is an important statement as part of that important footnote momentarily. So to qualify for the OX visa, you'll need to be at least 50 years old. You'll need to have 3 million baht as a fixed deposit in a Thai bank account, or have a fixed annual income of at least 1.2 million Thai baht coupled with 1.8 million Thai baht as a fixed deposit in a Thai bank account. It needs to total 3 million baht. You'll also need to show proof of insurance that shows outpatient coverage of no less than 40,000 Thai baht and inpatient coverage of no less than 400,000 Thai baht. Again, you'll also need to provide a clean criminal record and a medical certificate issued from your country of residence showing that you're free of these diseases. Now, like I said, in theory, the big advantage with this option is the fact that on paper anyways, it's a 5-year visa. But as my buddy Watt explained to me and met with immigration and chatted about, the thing is, you still need to check in with them each year and get your endorsements re-qualified by immigration. So it's not like you can apply for this visa, be approved for this visa, and then all you have to do is your 90-day reporting for 5 years. So it's not really a 5-year visa, because each year, annually, you need to go back into the immigration office and get your endorsements re-qualified. So based on that, as far as I'm concerned, either of the previous two options, the O or the OA, make more sense given that the financial requirements are so much lower, and you need to go to immigration once a year no matter how you slice the pie. You know, so who wants to have 3 million baht tied up as a fixed deposit in a Thai bank account when you still have to go and do this check-in annually, right? That's money that could be earning interest and properly invested back in your home country or wherever, right? But that 3 million baht, that's a lot of money to just have as a fixed deposit in a Thai bank account. And even if that Thai bank account gives you like a percent and a half a year annually, if it's a savings account, there's better ways to, to allocate those funds. And I'm sure a lot of you would agree, right? So another important thing to note, though, is that the OX visa is only available to those from Japan, Australia, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Canada. So if you're not from one of these 14 countries, this visa simply isn't even an option for you, regardless of your financial situation. I guess there are very niche cases, in my eyes anyways, where this non-OX visa might make sense for someone who has substantial savings rather than, regular passive retirement income, and they want less frequent visa renewals. But even then, like we spoke about, with the need to go and get your endorsements requalified each year in order to maintain your OX visa status, to me, it just doesn't feel like it would make much sense to the vast majority of people, especially considering all of the other options on the table. Now, the fourth age-restricted visa that a fair number of retirees here in Thailand use is the long-term resident, or LTR visa, for wealthy pensioners, which was introduced back in 2022. This visa is aimed at attracting higher-end retirees to Thailand and comes with pretty significant perks, but also pretty substantial financial requirements. To qualify, you'll need to be at least 50 years old, be able to show stable passive income of at least 80,000 US dollars a year, or show at least 40,000 US dollars a year in stable passive income, plus show investment of at least 250,000 US dollars into Thailand, whether it be freehold property such as a condo purchase, leasehold property such as a 30-year land lease, or direct investment into Thai companies, Thai government bonds, etc. You'll also need to show health insurance with at least 50,000 US dollars worth of coverage, or state social security benefits that cover medical treatment here in Thailand, or a deposit of at least 100,000 US dollars in a standard bank account. Now, even though this visa is marketed as a 10-year visa, it's issued in 5-year chunks. So I think the better way to look at it is a 5-year visa. Like if you apply for it and you get approved, you're going to get a 5-year stamp into your passport. And then after 5 years, you're going to have to go ahead, work with the BOI to re-qualify your endorsements, and then be issued an additional 5 years after that. You know, it does come with some pretty significant advantages, such as no 90-day reporting, fast track service at international airports here in Thailand, and tax exemption on overseas income brought into Thailand. But I do think it's important to note that the 5-year renewal, it doesn't come automatically. Like you will need to go back, re-qualify your endorsements, and be issued an additional visa. I think the better way to look at it is, yes, I guess it is a 10-year visa program, but issued in 2 5-year chunks, and you need to show that you're still eligible after year 5. Another challenge with applying for this can be the income verification. A lot of Western countries have taxable and then non-taxable income, which doesn't show up on a traditional tax return, right? So if you have 100 grand a year in total passive income, but only 70,000 of those dollars show up on your official tax return, it's going to be a bit of a back and forth with the BOI to prove and explain to them where that 30K in non-taxable income comes from. Because if they look at your tax return that shows $70,000 in passive income, well, technically you don't meet that threshold, and you're going to have to expect to write letters and provide bank statements, basically just proving where does the extra money come from. In this example, where does the extra 30K come from in passive income as part of your visa application? I basically everybody I know that has gotten this visa, that's been the hardest part for them, because a lot of them are from the US, and there's a lot of non-taxable income sources in America that doesn't show up on your Form 1040, right? It can be quite the hassle, but it is doable. I just think you should expect that. Now that we've covered the 4 main options specifically designed for retirees that are 50 and above, let's shift our focus to 4 additional long-term options that don't have any age restrictions at all, but are still pretty popular among retirees here in Thailand. So first off, you have the Thailand Privilege Card, which is often referred to as the Elite Visa. Then you have the LTR Wealthy Global Citizen Visa. Then you have the Non-Immigrant O Visa for the purpose of marriage, and that's for a lot of retirees that get married to Thai nationals. And then lastly, you have the Destination Thailand Visa. So again, let's just go through each of these options to get a better understanding of them. So let's start with the Thailand Privilege Card, which is basically a paid membership program that provides varying degrees of long-term status in Thailand, along with select perks and privileges and benefits. There's a few different membership tiers available. So you have the Bronze tier, which as of right now is available until June 2025. It costs 650,000 Thai baht for 5 years of visa validity and comes with 0 annual privilege points. Then you have the Gold tier, which costs 900,000 baht for 5 years of visa validity, but it comes with 20 annual privilege points. Next, there's the platinum tier, which costs 1.5 million baht for 10 years of visa validity, comes with 35 annual privilege points. Then you have the diamond tier, which is 2.5 million baht for 15 years of visa validity, comes with 55 annual privilege points. And lastly, you have the reserve tier, which is 5 million Thai baht for 20 years of visa validity and comes with 120 annual privilege points. Now, you're probably asking, what even are these privilege points? Basically, it's like a redemption program. So these points can be redeemed for things like, airport pickups or rounds of golf or hotel stays and other premium services. But based on anyone I've ever met that actually has one of these privilege cards, they didn't purchase it for these perks. They just purchased it simply for long-term status here in Thailand. One of the main advantages of this Thailand privilege card is its simplicity. You pay the fee, and as long as everything checks out, you get your visa. It's kind of like a pay-to-play program, I guess. There's different opinions and thoughts as to, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I'm not here to comment on that. I've explained the different tiers available. You can make your own decision. But, I guess some of the benefits is there's no need to show proof of annual income. There's no need to maintain specific amounts in Thai bank accounts. There's no need to get health insurance. It does still require 90-day reporting, which the Thailand privilege team handles for you. But you should probably know about that. You still need to do the 90-day reporting, even after paying all that money. And for me, as far as who applies for this kind of visa, I do think it is niche, especially with a lot of the other options on offer these days. But, it's really for people that have some money and just value simplicity and convenience above all else. I know a guy from Vancouver, and he's based here in Bangkok. He's kind of semi-retired. He does some consulting still. He's in his mid-40s. And he splits his time between here and Canada. And he's not old enough for any of the actual retirement visas we previously discussed. And he doesn't want to make any investment into Thailand, which bars him from the next visa we'll talk about, the next LTR visa. I guess he could have gotten the DTV, but he questioned the long-term viability of the DTV. And so, based on the fact that he had a little bit of money in his pocket, he decided that the Thailand privilege bronze package for 650,000 baht was worth it. He paid the fee, got his card, and now enjoys hassle-free status for the next 5 years here in Thailand. And he can come and go as he pleases. He doesn't have to worry about financial proofs or bank deposits or renewal headaches. It's the way he's looking at it is this will take him to the time he's 50, where he'll then likely switch to one of the age-specific retirement visas we previously spoke about. So that's kind of one example of somebody that might want to consider this, right? Now, the next non-age restricted option that some retirees do use here in Thailand is the LTR Wealthy Global Citizen Visa, which is part of the same higher level LTR program that included the Wealthy Pensioner option we discussed earlier in this video. So to qualify for this Wealthy Global Citizen category, you'll need to make an investment of at least 500,000 US dollars in Thailand, whether it be Thai government bonds, Thai property, or even a Thai company. You'll also need to show personal assets of at least $1 million US dollars, and the health insurance requirement stays here. You'll need to show health insurance with coverage of at least 50,000 US dollars, or state social security benefits that cover medical treatment in Thailand, or a deposit of at least $100,000 in a bank account. Like the first LTR Wealthy Pensioner visa we discussed, this option is issued as an initial 5-year visa with the option for another 5 years when the time is right, and comes with the same sort of perks such as no 90-day reporting, tax exemption on foreign sourced income brought into Thailand, and fast track service at international airports. The big thing with this visa to consider is the investment requirement. It's not just about having, $500,000. It's about actually investing that money into Thailand, either in government bonds, property, or a Thai company, which comes with risk, just like anything else. There's a lot of people that wouldn't want to do that, and I don't blame you, right? It's also important to note that while you can use property as the investment vehicle here, it doesn't circumvent any of the normal restrictions on foreign ownership of land here in Thailand. You can show proof of this $500,000 investment in a freehold condo, which you can own in your name, or you can do it by providing evidence of a legitimately registered leasehold agreement with at least 10 years of remaining time on that leasehold. If you were going to show like a villa or a piece of land or something like that as the $500,000 investment. Like I always try to do, I'll leave it up to you if you think that's a good idea or is a good investment or not. Some people do, some people don't. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm just trying my best to kind of explain the reality of each of these options here, and you do what you're going to do. Now, as far as who might apply for this visa, I guess this wealthy global citizen category works well for people with a bit of money who have pretty substantial assets and probably would want to buy a place in Thailand. Perhaps a condo, perhaps a villa with a 30-year land lease, but that would likely kind of be the profile of somebody who might go down this pathway. It's pretty niche. Not everybody is going to want to do that, but it is an option for those interested. Now, the next option we'll discuss is the Non-Immigrant O visa, but this time for the purpose of marriage to a Thai national. It's another pretty popular option for retirees who happen to be married to a Thai person. The requirements for this visa are pretty basic in that you need to be legally married to a Thai citizen with a marriage certificate to prove it. You'll also need to show financial stability here, typically with 400,000 Thai baht in a Thai bank account, or proof of monthly income of at least 40,000 Thai baht. Like I said, you'll need to provide your marriage certificate, passport copies, and this one's kind of funny, and a buddy of mine just had to do this, photos of you and your Thai spouse together, in your house, on your bed, working together in the kitchen, something like this. It's kind of funny. My buddy just had to go through the renewal, and he was saying the pictures they had to provide to show proof of the marriage were hilarious. So sometimes Thailand is like that. The visa is valid for a year at a time, and it can be renewed annually as long as the marriage remains intact and you continue to meet the financial requirements. Now, the final non-age restricted option that I have heard of retirees using here in Thailand for life is the Destination Thailand visa. So there's two main categories you can apply under. You have the Workation category, which is for those that work remotely, do international consulting work, are freelancers, online business owners, things like this. And then you have the soft power category, which is for people engaging in certified Thai cultural soft power activities like Muay Thai or, hospital treatments or things like this, right? And for this soft power category, you'll need to be enrolled in a certified program, school, or institution that's recognized by Thai authorities to qualify for this visa. You'll also have to show 500,000 baht in a standard bank account. It can't be crypto. It can't be, investments in equities or bonds or things like this. It's the equivalent of 500,000 baht in cash in your bank account. And if you're applying under the Workation category, you'll also need to provide some sort of an employment contract, employment certificate, or letter showing that you have permission to work remotely. If you're a freelancer, you can instead provide a professional portfolio or website or landing page in lieu of that last requirement there. just showing that you're a legitimate freelancer with a legitimate online business, consulting business, design business, whatever, right? And like I said, if you're applying under the soft power category, you'll need documentation confirming that you are actively enrolled in something like a certified Muay Thai school. The DTV itself is valid for up to 5 years at a time, but it's granted in 180-day renewable segments. So throughout the visa's validity period, immigration might request, and in fact, they probably will request periodic confirmation of your eligibility. So if you apply under the guise of like one of the soft power programs such as Muay Thai, then to expect to stay in Thailand for 5 full years after completing, a Muay Thai program in the first 6 months doesn't feel, reasonable or realistic, right? Like at some point they probably are going to ask, hey, are you still enrolled in that Muay Thai program? So just don't be surprised if that happens, right? Now, as far as this DTV visa tying into the whole concept of retirement here, I would say it's pretty good for retirees that want to continue doing something part-time remotely. Like a few weeks back, I met this, I think he was probably 60, and he was in IT in the US, and he retired, but he still does some occasional consulting just through a numbered company, a numbered LLC that he has registered. And he decided to get the DTV visa under the workation category because he showed his consulting contracts that he has in place and kind of his remote part-time work setup, right? Plus, he doesn't want to be here in Thailand year-round. He just wants to use it as some semblance of a home base and then bounce between, regional countries, maybe even go to Europe in the summer, things like this, right? So with all that said, there you have it, a pretty comprehensive breakdown of Thailand's long-term visa options for retirees, both with and without age restrictions. Whether you're looking for the most economical option, the most convenient option, or the one that offers the most flexibility, there's likely a pathway that aligns somewhat well for your situation. And I think the key is to just look at your personal situation, your personal circumstances, your lifestyle preferences, and real long-term plans, and then choose a visa pathway that works based on that and those factors. I will say, like, the one great thing about Thailand is compared to Canada or places like the US, there's far more options on the table for those coming here versus people from here going there. People like to give immigration here a lot of crap, but for the most part, I think they're pretty reasonable, and there are a lot of options at play, which you can apply for entirely independently and on your own. Lots of people do that, which is awesome. Or you can work with a visa agent or a law office to get your entire application taken care of. And if you're interested in doing that and just kind of having the whole process from A to Z handled for you, then I definitely would recommend you work with my buddy Watt. He can help you with each of the visa options we discussed today. If you're really looking to minimize mistakes, delays, and headaches, it's a fully done-for-you service that he runs. So just click below or scan here to learn more about that and get started with him. I think it starts with an eligibility assessment that he runs. So with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.